It's Criminal here, back to another MK1 video. In this one I'm gonna attempt to rank all 23 base roster characters of Mortal Kombat 1 from the worst to the best in like a ascending order, so from number 23 all the way up to number 1. I just wanna get a few things first. First of all, this list is completely based off my own opinions, characters I hate to fighting against and enjoy fighting against, and how easy it is for me, and just how good I think characters are overall from just their own powers perspective. Second thing I want to mention, the way I rank these characters, I rank them based on their ability when run with their most ideal cameo. So like if I'm talking about someone like Johnny Cage, if I'm gonna talk about the ideal cameo, I'm not gonna talk about Johnny Cage when you're playing him with I don't know, Shujinko. Yeah, Shujinko aside, I'm another thing I suppose I can mention. I'm not gonna be counting Shujinko at all. Like Shujinko in a specific setup, like if you steal Cento for Kenshi, that's not something to count in a tier list, that's for sure, that's specific. But yeah, with these three things out of the way, let's get started with number 23 and 22. Number 23, in my opinion, the worst character currently in Mortal Kombat 1. I've got Kitana. Honestly, I will say, compared to prior Mortal Kombat games, this game doesn't feel like it has low tiers that are completely unusable. MK11 had characters like this, like even Melina felt completely trash, like unusable level. Rambo felt unusable really. In this game I feel even the low tiers are runnable, but they have much more issues than the top tiers who are just borderline perfect. So yeah, number 23, the worst character in the game for now in my opinion is Kitana. I believe Kitana is just suffering from, first of all, her mix-up game is very weak. The only effective, you could say, mix-up option she has is this low kick right here. Also, her strength, she doesn't really have much plus frames, almost at all really. And also, her damage output is very lacking. I think she might be the character with the lowest damage in the entire game. Like, her damage is very bad. With cameos, without cameos, it really doesn't matter. If I do combo by myself from this string, which is probably our best one, because it has some pretty decent range. Like if I start a combo from this, like the max I can get is around 30, it caps at 30 meterless, let's say. Now that is not that bad, but that is if you get this string. I mean, if you get other strings it gets even lower. Like 25 here, like it's very difficult to just get good damage with this character. Even in the corner, the damage it doesn't eclipse 40. And that's very bad for this game, because every character pretty much has a way to get 40%. Now, another really bad thing about her, in my opinion personally, just her wind bomb. It's not good enough. Mainly because they made it a mid. I feel like it should have been, at the very least it should have been a low. In my opinion it should have been completely unblockable, because of the amount of time it takes to set this thing up. Like, making it one hit unblockable wouldn't be the end of the world. Like, you could armor through it, and it still would do the same thing, but even if you do get it, the reward is not very high. That's just something that annoys me. I missed it, around 30% again. Her damage is just not very high. In the corner it gets a bit better, but it's still not very good damage, you can see what I mean. Like, setting this up in combos is possible with Frost or Sub-Zero, but it's still not very good damage. Still, I mean, it caps at around 30-35%, 40 if you spend a lot of bar. But yeah, I mean, that's it basically for Kitana. She just feels underwhelming in all aspects of the game. The only part where I'll say she feels decent is like zoning, because her fans are not bad, even though they are high, so that hurts her. She also has this one that can catch people off guard. A wind bomb can go full screen if you make it so. So yeah, that's it for Kitana at number 23. Moving on to number 22, and this just breaks my heart, man. It really does break my heart. In this one I have General Shao. From first glance I thought the character would be good, but his issues just become glaringly obvious when you run him online. First of all, most of his strings are just way too slow. Way too slow. Second of all, without cameos, the reward for combos is actually not that high. Unfortunately, like mid-screen, let's say. If you get, let's say, this string, which is probably the most common one to get, how much do you get? I think like around 30 when you spend bar, and that's not good. That's not very good. Like 34 spending bar is not good, and if you don't spend bar you get even less. How much you get without? Now I will say if we do use cameos you can get 50%, but that doesn't really matter because these issues are elsewhere. Like General Shao has no lows and no overheads in his kit at all, except for this special, except for this kick that is 20 frames on startup, and this overhead that is also 20 frames on startup. Now, what is the bad thing about them? First of all, both of these don't start combos. They can only go into this. If you use Motaro, you can start combos, and this slow actually does start combos, but they are very, very slow, and both of them are punishable on block. Like, if I make it on a block for a second, the overhead, minus 32, so it doesn't become more punishable than this. The low is actually not punishable, but it's so slow you can punch him out of it sometimes. Like, it's horrifyingly slow. It also, he has a very unique animation when doing it, so it's not a very good thing. So opening up your opponent with General Shao is very, very difficult. Next up we just have, zoning. He just struggles, like he has only this move. That sucks. It takes 40 frames for it to activate. Most of the time just other projectiles or the Sarina cameo that you face every match will just punch you out of the animation. When you are from far away you're just a sitting duck really. And also, just his strings, many of them have a lot of recovery, like way too much recovery. Like this one on whiff is a death sentence, and it's not plus enough. Like it's really not. This back 2, in my opinion, should have been plus 10, because this shit is just ridiculous. Like even with this, it's plus 3, and you still get poked out of it. And General Shao has pretty much no mids anywhere in this kit. He doesn't have mids. He has no mids. So even though this is plus, you can't go for a string. You have to go for this, for his down 1, or you just can't. And they can block the down 1, and then you just lose your turn. So the plus frames don't really matter. And also, it struggles in so many aspects. There is no cameo that can fix it. Like, if you play Darius, you can like set up a nice set plays. You can even get guaranteed reset in the corner if you time it perfectly, which is very hard to do. So you probably won't do it online. But he also struggles mix-ups. Like, it's very trash on the mix. I mean, you need a cameo. Like, you need someone to keep yourself plus. Like, let's say Cyrax. And why do you need someone like Cyrax? You also need someone to help you deal with zoning, like Sub-Zero. And you also need someone for combos, because General Shao without cameos is not very good on combos either, unless you're in the corner, where it becomes a bit better. But yeah, he just struggles in so many ways. And that is still not spectacular. Like, if I throw in a cameo, I can get 45-50%, but doing no damage without cameos is not very good. Like, it's really not. 34% for a corner combo, unless you're Kitana, it's considered very low in this game. So yeah, that's it for General Shao. Unfortunately, number 22. I really hope they buff him, like, because I really love the character and I love Shao Kahn, but it just sucks for now. So yeah, moving on to number 21. I decided not to make it so you see both the characters, because it's kind of ruined the expectations, I suppose. But yeah, at number 21, I have someone who really surprises me to see him that low, but I think he is that low. And that someone is Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero he got hit hard by nerfs after the beta ended. Like, even in the beta he still had these glaring issues, like this overhead of his, horrifyingly punishable, and the only way you can cancel into something in order to actually keep yourself safe there is to cancel into slide. And good players will just start blocking low the moment you do the first hit, because the second one is not an overhead. The second one is a high, so they'll just block low and then you are fucked. Like, if they block the first one, you're dying. And even if you do cancel into slide, you don't get the reward you get for a combo, so not very good regardless. But the thing that really puts him down in this part for me, he got nerfed hard to his damage. Like, the ground phase used to do so much in the beta, but now it scales so heavy. You see, in the beta this did 45-50%, now it does 31. I mean, that's trash for this amount of bars, so yes, Sub-Zero's damage output is horrifyingly low. I mean, even if you combo with a cameo, he doesn't get much damage. Like, if we do something with Striker, I mean, that cert is 3 meterless, but that's not very good considering you use a charge of your cameo. As for the cameo I chose, like, Oh, I forgot to talk about cameos. Yeah, with Kitana, I don't think she has an ideal one. I think one of the freezers is the ideal option. With General Shao, I believe it's Jax. In my opinion, Jax is the best one he has. General Shao just struggles with so much. No cameo is really best for him. For Sub-Zero, I chose Striker just because it can amplify the low mix-up. So Sub-Zero still has an overhead starter and a low starter, so it's not that bad. Like, if you get this, you can get combos. I mean, if you use Striker, you have to spend the bar for the amplified slide, but you can still get combos. But the problem is the overhead starter is very unsafe and his reward for combos is so low right now, it's actually not even funny. But the reason I have him not just dead last, because I think Kitana and General Shao are better than him in many aspects. I have him at this point just because the clone is still very good. It lasts for much less time in this one, but the clone is a fantastic anti-air, probably the best anti-air in the entire game. Like, you can jump against Sub-Zero, you just can't. After the opponent is knocked down, if the opponent is knocked down with Sub-Zero and you go into clone, that's a very good option. Like, you can deny them the wake up and then you can go into for another mix-up. In the corner, this mix also gets better because you can actually combo off the low with Striker. But just his reward was hurt heavily, so yeah, that's the reason why I have Sub-Zero over here. I still think he has some of his strengths. I mean, the Ice Ball is still very good if you trade projectiles, but it's very, very slow in this game. So yeah, that's just where I put Sub-Zero. I don't think it's very good. I hope it gets buffed as well. The last three of this tier list seriously need buffs. I think from number 20 and up, you have a significant gap from number 21 and number 20. So yeah, moving on from Sub-Zero, next up to number 20, yeah. Alright, number 20, I have the Harbinger of Chaos himself. I have Havoc. Now, in my Havoc breakdown, I said he wasn't trash. I stand by that thing. I think everybody from level 20 and up are easily runnable. And I feel like, honestly, man, from like number 20 all the way to like number 10, everything is interchangeable in my opinion. Like, almost everything is interchangeable. So yeah, Havoc. I think Havoc is pretty good. Just, he has a low starter, which is already fantastic. Many characters don't have it. He has some pretty good damage output, like... He can do like 30-35% meterless, so that's not bad at all. When you're using Cyrex, they can actually combo into the hand very easily, so Cyrex is the ideal partner in my opinion. And when you do get the hand, you can actually get a lot of damage. He also has this move, which is fantastic. It gets a lot of slander, this one, because it scales heavily for the other combo, but getting a free priority for like another 20% damage combo is a significantly good thing. Like, if you get whatever combo you want with Havoc, you end with this, like you already did 36%, you end with this, you can get even more damage. And because Havoc is not a character who needs his meter for combos, you can get a lot of reward, man. If you choose to spend the bar for this thing, you can get like 60% damage guaranteed. And that is significant. I don't think people understand how powerful that thing is. Moreover than that, you have this move, this button, which is extremely good. This is a very good button. It's a mid, and it gets really, really far. It's a fantastic button, one of the best in the game in my opinion. It's really up there. It's a very good button. Also, his frame data is fairly good. Like, almost everything he does is very plus. Like, it doesn't show it right now, but this thing on block, it's +6, which is very, very good. So yeah, that's Havoc for me. I feel like he's very underrated. I think he's very good all around. Yeah, he's also, unlike General Shao, he's also pretty good in zoning as well. Like, these two projectiles are very good. And have a lot of screen. These things control the screen easily. And also, setting them up at the end of combos is fantastic because they are so plus, it's actually insane. That's like +40 what I just did here. That's a very good player thing to set up. So yeah, that's my number 20. I've got Havoc. Moving on to the next one. Alright, number 19. I have Nitara. Now, Nitara, in my opinion, can go much higher or much lower. It's the character I have the least experience with in the roster, but one thing I will tell you, she has fairly good damage. I mean, her damage output is very good. Like, even if you just do... That's why I like Sub-Zero with her, because she has this launching string. And if you get whatever hit you want, you can confirm into Sub-Zero, and then you can just get this string. And you can also set this thing up. Now, this thing, what it does, it sacrifices 5% of her HP, but now her moves get buffed, so this does damage over time. Now, she also has access to this one, this move, that is pretty flat on block, I'm fairly sure. How much is it? It's -1 with this amount of pushback, yeah, it's very good. It's also special cancelable, so... She also has an air dash, which is fantastic, like, she can dash up, she can dash down. So yeah, that's very good. And just the reward she gets for hits is actually pretty good. Like, that's very good damage. That's good. 38 for 1 bar is very good. It is very good, you can deny it is good. Not to mention, she can also cancel air strings into dash 1 time in the air without spending bar, and she can cancel it indefinitely when you do spend bar, so... Stuff like this is possible, and that gets you very good damage. Yeah, that's like 40, yeah, so his damage output is very good. She also has a lifesteal when she activates this thing, so she steals 5% of her HP back after activating this, so... And you can do it multiple times in one combo, so... Just by doing this, you can pretty much heal 50% of her HP. But the problem is, this buff runs out after one special. There, now it's gone, so that's something I don't like, but yeah, Nitara can get a lot of rewards for getting hits in, I mean, like, for whatever hit I will do here. Yeah, she can do like 40-45% easy. I don't have much practice with her. Only reason she's this low on my list, even though she has great mobility. She has arguably the best mobility in the entire game. Like, her mobility is fantastic. The reason I have her here is simply because her strings are absolute dog shit. She has some of the worst strings in the entire game, if not straight up the worst. Almost everything she does is extremely unsafe. Like, this is unsafe and not special cancelable, so you can't even keep yourself safe here. She's very meter heavy, so she drinks a lot of meter, just like she drinks blood, just in order to get some attacks in. She drinks a lot of meter. Her strings are dog shit. That's the thing that just ruins her for me. Like, her strings are terrible. Completely terrible. I think the worst in the entire game, but the reward she gets for actually landing hits in. Her reward is very high, you can't deny that. That's a lot of damage. She does a lot of damage, that's for sure. So yeah, that's Nitara. I think if she had good strings, she could have even broke top 10, honestly, with her damage output and insane movement, but her strings are actually so terrible, it's not even funny, man. Even if you're using a cameo like Cyrex, you can still get punished for doing stuff. It's that bad. Her strings are just dog shit. So yeah, that was my number 19, that's Nitara. Moving on to number 18. Oh yeah, if I didn't make it clear, the cameo I'm choosing for the characters I pick, like for the first time I show them, is in my opinion the ideal cameo for them. So yeah, for Nitara it's Sub-Zero in my opinion, for Havoc is what Cyrex. General Shao I think personally is Jax right now. For Sub-Zero I would say Striker, and for Kitana, Jesus. Yeah, she needs Jesus, man, she really does. She's not good, she is not good. But yeah, for Kitana I think like someone like Frost is also good. Li Mei is very obvious, it's Frost, but yeah. Coming in at number 18 I've got Li Mei. Li Mei, I don't think she's a bad character, I think you can actually put her much higher, but the reason I'm putting her here, just, she lacks mix-ups, man, and she really does. She has pretty much no overheads in her entire kit, I'm pretty sure, like, she only has this one. Gunner is actually not bad. It's not bad at all, but it's not plus, even though it's so long, you can actually punch her out of this if you're fast enough, and the cancel takes a while to recover, like a mash and grab. It takes me a while after landing on the ground to actually be capable of jumping. Look at this. It takes a while, yeah, it's 43 frames of recovery, so it's a while to actually move. So yeah, that's troublesome. Her only low starter is this one. Her only launcher is this thing, which is very, very unsafe. And her lanterns that are the main source of damage for her are only available if you can use cameos. By herself, Li Mei has no way of setting the lanterns at all. She can't, just like in a combo, it's impossible. But when you do get a combo with Li Mei, god damn it, I'm dropping, sorry. Yeah, no, I dropped it, but when you do get combos with her, you get like 40-45% for 1 bar. So yeah, she has really good combo. She has really good damage, but problem is it's cameo reliant. Like if you're not using the cameo, you can't get a lantern, and that means just from your regular strings. And I will say something, her frame data is fantastic. She has really good frame data. Limei is some of the best frame data, man. She has really good frame data. Many of her strings are very plus. Yeah, I think you can make an argument she's much higher than this. Personally, I think the other characters in the roster are much higher than her, so I put her at 19, but when you do get a hit with Limei, you just don't get much reward. Like, if you did a string that bounces them up and you're quick enough to recover, like, you can only go into this. That's 20%, not good. Like, that's 32, that's not bad, but for 1 bar it's not good either. And getting a launcher is very difficult. But when you do, it's actually not that bad damage. It's not very good either, bro. So I just put Limei here because her mix-up luck is terrible, man. She lacks mix-ups badly, and she only has 1 projectile in event for a high, so she's not very good on keep-away as well. Like, there are other characters that have the same issues as her, but are much stronger in other aspects, so I put them higher. So yeah, that's my number 18. I've got Limei. Moving on to number 17. Alright, coming in at number 17, a character that is horrifyingly underrated. I think she can be much higher. Honestly, I think she really can be much higher. Tanya is not a bad character by any means. First rank she has extremely good range. Like, insanely good range. Her range is fantastic. Another thing, many characters in this game need to flawless block in order to punish gaps. Tanya has a very unique move. This is a parry. I don't know if it works against Tanya, but... just let me... sorry, let me just... This move. You need to hold X, and depending on the direction you hold, you can just jump. And that is very good move. That is a fantastic special move. Like, you can punish so many things with that. And if you amplify it, you actually get the amplify teleport, so it hits it by itself. So this one will punish anything. And also, if you parry at any time and you can't get the teleport, you can just do this. And this is armored, so you will get the punish for this, and the amplify will do more damage. So yeah, already that's pretty good. Her damage is also not bad at all. I see a lot of slander on her damage, but if you pick the right cameo, in my opinion, she has 2 options. Either one of the freezers, which is Sub-Zero or Sub-Zero or Frost, sorry, or Jax. I like Jax because this move works very well with Jax, so you can do stuff like this. I dropped it wrong. Like, she can get some pretty decent damage, and if you're using Sub-Zero, you can actually get some pretty neat stuff. I mean, stuff like this, let's say. You freeze them, fully charge that shit. Yeah, that has, if I don't drop it, that has around 40%, but yeah, her range is fantastic. That range is not something to just laugh about. And another thing, when she fully charges this, her dash attacks actually go further, so that makes this trick so powerful. Like, from this range I can still get you. Like this. And her damage is not bad, it really is not bad. She's also extremely stylish, by the way. She has some solid frame data. She's pretty good in keep away as well. Like, she has this projectile which is not bad. Very decent projectile. If you amplify it, it becomes a mid, which is powerful. She has this move that makes her dash attacks go much further. She can do stuff like this. And you can close the distance really quickly using that. So yeah, she is definitely underrated, man. I think in the hands of the right players, or in my hands when I put more practice into her, like, Tanya is definitely a contender for much higher on the list than number 17. Right now I put her at 17 because I just think other characters are easier to use and give you more rewards for the ease. Like, they're much easier to utilize than Tanya, but they also just give you more rewards. So, but Tanya is extremely fun, and I don't think she's bad by any means. I see a lot of slander on this character. She's definitely not bad. But again, another thing she lacks as well is just look at this again. Like, another thing, just many characters like these things in this game. She actually does have a low starter. That's why I put her higher than here. She has a low starter, and but she has no overhead starter. If she did have an overhead starter, she would have been like top 10 for me, honestly, because she relies so much on getting a hit, but she struggles to do that except for if you whiff punish with a crazy good range, like with this move. Yeah, her standing straight, this one is one of the best, if not straight up the best bottom in the entire game. It's absolutely stupid. So yeah, that's my number 17. I have Tanya. I think she's extremely fun. I think she's very underrated. She has this for a movement option. She has this parry, which is a fantastic parry. Like, depending on your timing, you can even block a part of the string and then parry and teleport and get a full combo. And if you use the amplified version, you can just teleport right away, hit them out of their attack, and then get a full combo. And this is also a very good movement option. It's a very good combo tool as well from this one. You can actually convert like this. And again, that's good damage. 35 is good. 35 is definitely good. So yeah, that's his Tanya for me. I think she's number 17 for now. I think she can be much higher, but yeah, moving on to number 16. Number 16, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, but I think it's this. I think it's Sindel is number 16. Now, Sindel has very good strength. Like, her range is fantastic. She has very good hitboxes. She has one of the best pokes in the game is in this one. But I think just with the parts where she struggles is first of all, no mix. Like, she only has this low. That absolutely sucks. It's minus 24 on block and it's impossible to combo from this thing, so it's completely useless. You never want to use this thing. She has practically no overhead. Like, no overhead starter. Like, a first hit that is an overhead, she has none. Her only attack that is actually a low from the get-go is just this one, that is trash, or a sweep and stuff like that. She has no overhead at all, like, as a starter, no overhead. The thing that actually saves her mix for me is just this move. The fact that you can do stuff like this, like... Many people will mash at this, but it just... You can cancel it into throws and stuff like that, so her mix-up is not as bad as other characters, but I think the other thing that just puts her down significantly is just her damage is very low. Like, Sindel's damage is actually terrible. I mean... 29 meterless from an ideal opener. That's a big I mean, it's not good. That is just not good, honestly, man. I don't know what to say. This is just not good. That is much better. That is better, but her damage is still not very high. Even if you wish to spend your resources, she can't, like, she struggles to break 40%. So, and her combo scales heavily. But I will say, depending on the cameo you choose, she can be much better. Like, Sarina is a very common pick for her because Sarina just adds damage to every character you'll pick her with. Like, I mean, just do anything with Sarina and you can get damage, but even if you choose to spend bar with Sindel, her damage is very underwhelming. Like, even with two Sarinas, I can get 45, but that's for 3 bars. I mean, it's not good, man. It's really, I don't know what to say about it. It's just not good. My personal favorite for her and what makes her good, in my opinion, like, the fact that the problem with this is just her entire gameplay relies on the cameo you pick. For me, at least. Like, if I don't pick Sub-Zero, she is number... What number am I right now? I think I'm number 16. Number 16, yeah. If I pick Sub-Zero, she is not number 16. If I pick Sub-Zero in the right situation, she can be number 1. I mean, just because you can do stuff like this. Like, you can go from this, and you can just completely negate breakers like this. That is insanely powerful, man. Problems I have with Sindel are just, first of all, her cameo stealing is impossible to get. I mean, it really is. Because 99% of people use Sarina, and Sarina is just impossible to punish. Because it's Sarina. And just, it's very hard to get this move. If this move was like, you apply a buff to yourself that if they summon their cameo in the next 5 counts of the match, you steal it automatically. If it was something like this, it would be much better, but her cameo stealing is not very useful, man. They also made it so it takes a longer time to recover from cameos, so yeah, it's pretty difficult to set up some unique cameo interactions. That was what I thought would be insanely powerful for Sindel, but it's actually not possible. So yeah, her damage is lacking. Her mix-up is not very good either. She can have some pretty nice shenanigans with the anti-breaker stuff, but she's just not that good, man. At first glance, I thought she would be absolutely broken back in the combat cast. She's not as good as I expected, but I would say she's not bad at all in neutral. She has some pretty good neutral. If you do choose to spend VAR, her damage can cross the average numbers, like nothing special, but at least it's not complete dog shit. But again, you need to spend a lot of power for that. But yeah, anti-breaker shenanigans with Sub-Zero really solidify her for me, like as a number 16 at the very least, because this is extremely powerful, man. I don't know if you understand how powerful this shit is, but Sub-Zero stuns them for so long, you can just set this up and do whatever combo you were going to do from the get-go. So yeah, that's my number 16. I've got Sindel moving on to number 15. One thing, I didn't pick her here, but just to mention this, Sarina can be the ideal cameo for everybody here. Sarina just, she provides everything the character needs regardless of it. But for me, I think the ideal cameo for Shang Tsung is Sector. That's just my opinion, but yeah, I think it's Sector. Another thing that could really work with Shang Tsung specifically is just Shujinko. And the reason for that is, normally when you're fighting an opponent, they will use a cameo that is very good with their own character. Like, they will use a cameo that is very good with their own character, right? And now, if you're playing Shang Tsung, you can morph into the enemy character. Now I'm morphing into Shang because I'm against Shang, but the fact that you can do that just means you can steal the enemy character's moves while transforming into the enemy character. So like, you can get some incredibly good stuff, I mean, with certain characters, because let's say you're fighting Scorpion, like if we fight Scorpion and you have Shujinko, you can transform into Scorpion, do your combo, end in spear, and do spears Shujinko. When it doesn't clash, you can do 2 spears. So yeah, and you can also do multiple time freezes with Giras and stuff like that. So Shang Tsung being able to morph into your opponent makes Shujinko a very valid option for me. But I personally think Sector provides the most he needs. Like, just, it's very good to convert off of stuff. Sector is just very good with them to convert off of combos and stuff like that. It's also very good to set up pressure. But Shang in general, I see like he's number 50 just because Shang, one thing he struggles again is just a character that lacks mix-ups in my opinion. Like, he only has this over there when in young form, it doesn't lead to anything, and he has this slow when he's in old form. Granted, it does change the same button into a low and an overhead, but the animation don't start in the same way. If the animation for this low started in the exact same way as this one, this could have been a menace, but it's not, unfortunately. But yeah, Shang can get really good reward though for getting hits, like. I dropped it, but even if I don't have to go for the complex shit now, he can get 35 meterless anywhere on screen. It's very good. In the corner, his combos doesn't change at all, so it's very good again. One thing I don't think people understand with Shang, like, I made the longest combo video with Shang, like the combo that took me like 45 seconds, but there is a benefit to that, because remember, you can go for timer in this game. You really can go for timer, and Shang can like eat 30 counts of the timer with one combo. Just because you can do this shit with so many fire scrolls, it takes a year to finish. Yeah, regardless, I dropped it, I didn't do this combo in a while, but yeah, also another thing to mention, you can actually get a lot of cool shenanigans with this move. You can combo off of it if you're quick enough, but that's not what I mean. But you can, just to show. Oh, I dropped it here. Oh shit. It's not working right now, I need to be in the corner for that. But yeah, you can combo after this, but the shenanigans I'm talking about is with Jax. If you steal a right character that has a normal that like jumps in the air, for example Raiden's 4-3, you can get guaranteed resets with that thing, with this steal move. So yeah, that's just, it's character specific again, but it's again pretty good. So yeah, I think Shang is number 15, I don't think he struggles in any way, like it's just very good all around I think. Like zoning is very good when he's in young form, so this is a very good projectile. That has a shit ton of chip as well. Like look at his HP just from blocking. like 5% of the HP from blocking is very good. He can set up some nasty stuff with the steal. If you steal someone like, let's say, Kenshi, you can get some pretty nice stuff. So yeah, I think Shang is number 15. I think he's a very good character. He's a lot of fun to play. I think he can have some really nice stuff with Shujinko, but yeah, I think it's very dependent on just your knowledge. It's like a knowledge-based character. You need to know how to play the entire roster to utilize him correctly, honestly. Like, because the steal is a very major part of this character. Because this move is a restamp as well. So yeah, that's my number 15. I've got Shang Tsung. Moving on to number 14. Alright. Now, Reiko with my number 14. Now, I will say this. Reiko is probably the only character here where I can't say who's the best cameo for him. In my opinion, and again, this entire list is my opinion, of course, but it's subjective fact, so you're welcome to not agree, but you're wrong. Yeah, regardless of this shitty joke, but Reiko possesses some very powerful tools. Like, he has very good range because of his laser feet, whatever. Like, he has very good range in his normals. He's got a very good command grab, this one. That one amplified can do a shit ton. And actually you can combo after this, I saw, like if you use someone like Frost, set up the Ice Orb and then go into this, which is not that uncommon to do. Like, you can just do whatever combo, end with Frost and go into grab immediately, but yeah, this command grab got 21%, which is insane. His combo damage is actually pretty good as well. Like, yeah, you can get some pretty nice damage. Like, you can get 35, even 40% if you know what you're doing. But even by himself, like, you can do stuff like this. Oh, sorry, I don't think, regardless. Yeah, like, by yourself, 34, that's good. That's not bad at all. Especially considering the ease of that combo. You can do much more complex stuff, but he also has a very good projectile, this one. It does a shit ton of chip, especially when amplified. Yeah, that's a lot of chip damage. That killed me multiple times when fighting one Reiko. So yeah, that's a pretty good projectile. It also hits mid, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's a high, it's a high. The amplified is mid? Yeah, the amplified hits mid, so the amplified is fantastic. So yeah, he has a very high damage in command grab. He has a pretty good wake up, armor wake up. This one. Just because it has pretty good range. His combo damage is pretty good, yeah. Just Reiko feels really solid. His normals are fantastic, man. That's really the thing that sets them for me. His range, because of the laser shit, it's so good. Like, this energy shit he kicks at you. His range is fantastic. And again, it gets pretty good damage. So yeah, I don't know how to go into too much detail about Reiko. Reiko is very simple. I mean, he's not a complex character by any means. He also has this parry, by the way. This parry is pretty good. I forgot to mention it almost, but yeah, this is something that demands talking about. That's pretty good, and if you amplify it, that's a full combo. Let me just put it on close side, it's much easier to get stuff like this. Yeah, so that's a very good counter. It has almost no scaling, so it's fantastic counter. So yeah, that's Reiko, I think. It's just very good, honestly. Like, it doesn't lack anything in my opinion. He also has an overhead for baseline that is very good. Having an overhead right away is good. He has no lows, I'm pretty sure. So that's a bit trash, but having no low sucks, but at least he has this overhead, and he also has a command grab, so that makes up for a lack of mix. Having a command grab, in my opinion, is equivalent to having a lower and overhead. It's very powerful to have that. And also does some pretty decent damage, even regardless of it does the same as a regular throw. That's good. That's very good. So yeah, that's my number 14. I've got Reiko. Let's move on to number 13. Alright, now number 13, we have the man himself, we have Reptile. Now, Reptile is a very solid character. I mean, I don't really need to talk about him in too much detail. It's just, he does everything pretty good. First of all, he has an overhead. He has an overhead move. Granted, this is unsafe. You can charge it, and then it's safe and also start combos. Then he also has this slow, which is fantastic. like good range as well, and also starts combos. And again, Reptile also doesn't need his meter at all. Like that's something that bothers me with him actually. Like he has no use for his meter almost. It almost feels useless, except for this move, which is great. But yeah, if we're talking ideal cameos for a second, I feel like Tsarina is the only option here, honestly. You can go for Cyrax in order to just keep yourself safe at the end of streaks, even though he has some pretty decent frame data already, but Tsarina just, because he has this move that recovers instantly, you can get stuff like this with Tsarina even full screen. You can get it for full screen and just run at them and get a free block string from that. He also just possesses a pretty decent damage. Like, anywhere on screen. I don't think so. That's why I just think Tsarina is a pretty good option, like enhancing his damage a bit more. Yeah, I dropped it, but it can do like 40-45 meters, so it's really good, honestly. He's pretty good from far away because he has this acid ball, and he can also confirm into combos with using the enhanced dash. It's one of the better movement tools in this game. It recovers almost instantly. When amplified, it's 5 frames of recovery. It's almost instant. Like, even if they punch you the moment you run at them, you can still block, because it's only 5 frames of recovery. It's almost instantaneous. But yeah, you can get some pretty good stuff. He has a launching move. He has some pretty solid range of some of his normals. He has a very good armor wake up. He can get like full screen. He has this move, which can catch people off guard, and is also a very good combo finisher. What more? He has invisibility. Like, if you can set this up, you can get some pretty good stuff, but I will say, the Amplified does nothing, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's the exact same thing, but takes your bar. So, yeah, don't use it. I don't know what it does. I haven't found anything it does yet, but yeah, I think that's Reptile. I mean, it's really good all around. It doesn't suffer in any way. It's just good all around. Like, anywhere on screen is still very good. And yeah, if you like him, feel free to run. I like him as well, and I ran them a few times. He is a lot of fun to play. He is a very good character, a very cool character as well in this one. Like, he's not just a regular jobber anymore. So yeah, I really like this character. I feel like he's good. I feel like he's balanced, and I feel like he's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's Reptile. Moving on to the next, number 12. Alright, coming in number 12? 12, yeah, 12. Oh shit, I'm senile. I'm starting to forget my own fucking list, but yeah, coming in at number 12. I'm gonna try to make it a bit faster from now on, guys. I'm sorry if it takes too long, but yeah, I just want to cover the main thing this character do. But number 12, it's Scorpion. Scorpion has the best projectile in the entire game, most likely. I mean, it's just no projectile in the game gives you the same reward as this one. It just, anytime you get a raw spear, you can just get so much damage. I dropped it, you can get like 35% with this. So yeah, it's very good. Now, for ideal cameos, I think Scorpion, I think Jax or Tsarina. Tsarina is pretty good because you can confirm any hit into spear with Tsarina, and she just enhances combo damage, but I think another one that might be a good shout out is Cyrax, because Scorpion struggles a bit on mix up, and just extending your block string is pretty good. I like Jax because first of all he has resets with Jax. With Jax completely guaranteed resets as well. I dropped it, but this is a reset when done correctly. This can be a reset when done correctly. If done perfectly, it's a guaranteed reset, you can't do anything about it. Jax is also very good for combos with Scorpion, because you can do like stuff like this, let's say. So Jax is just a very good cameo for him. But I will say Scorpion again, Scorpion has one struggle and just mix-ups. Like, Scorpion can't open you up. He really can't. Like, he has no mix-ups. He has no overheads in his kit whatsoever, except for this one. And he has this low. Granted, this shit goes full screen, but it doesn't start combos. It's also extremely punishable when your opponent is aware. Like, if I put myself at like a default range for Scorpion and they throw this and I jump, full punish, and I can react to this, like it's not very fast. Like, you see the animation starting and react. So yeah, I don't think there's much to go about with Scorpion here. He gets extremely high rewards for hitting you, like he has some of the highest damage output in the game. He's just a very, very, very good character all around. Like, not very, very, very good. It's good. He's a solid character. He has his weaknesses when in mix-ups. Though I will say he has some decent range. He has one of the better projectiles in this game. Like, this thing just guarantees death, pretty much. If you get hit by a raw spear, it's just so much damage. I doubt it, but you can get so much damage just from raw spear, and yeah, his damage output is fantastic. He has an amazing projectile. He has a teleport. That enhances his mix-ups a lot, like, this teleport. Without it, it would have been much lower on my list, I think, but this teleport really enhances his mix-up play. Like, even stuff like this is possible thanks to the teleport, like, at the end of matches, let's say. This thing can work. I did it online multiple times. Yeah, it can work. But yeah, that's Scorpion. There's not much else to go over. He's just a very good character all around. This Soul is very fun. It's very easy. It's very beginner friendly. So yeah, that's it for Scorpion. Let's move on to number 11. Alright, number 11 we have the god of the universe himself. We have Liu Kang. Now Liu Kang is an unfortunate character for me, because if this character had mix-ups, he would have been top 5. But his struggle is so bad to open you up, like you have to fish for whiff punishes. And his range is not that amazing either, so it just hurts the guy. Like, yeah, but just to go over his strengths real quick, he's really good from afar. He's a great zoner. He has this projectile that eats other projectiles as well, and does really good damage. He has the dragon. That is not a zoning tool, but a fantastic combo tool. He does a lot of damage. His damage output is very good, especially in the corner. Like, in the corner you can get the shit on. Excuse me, I keep dropping that shit all the time. I don't know, that was already 40 and I did pretty much nothing, but yeah, just the main problem of this character is just most of the damage comes from this string. It's just, he has so much hard time of getting into it because his mix-up sucks. So yeah, I think the idea of cameo choices is either Jack to just amplify the damage he's already getting, and he can also fish for some pretty cool setups with the ground pound in this move. You can get some nasty stuff in the corner with that. Like, if you end the combo with the kicks, you can get some nice stuff with this too. But yeah, just his damage output is very good. He really struggles on mix-ups. I mean, he has no lows and no overheads. The only overhead he has in his kit is this one. The low kick, this kick should have been a low, 100% should have been a low. I don't understand why it's not a low, but yeah, I think the ideal choices of cameos is either Jax, or in my opinion a better one is Sarina. Simply because Sarina, from any stray hit you get, not that, from any hit you just go to this bullshit and confirm it to this one. And this is how he gets most of the damage, or amplifying the damage even more is always good for this character. So yeah, I think that's Liu Kang. His strings are pretty good frame data wise, like most of them are completely safe or just even plus. But he has no overheads and low, so he has zero mix-ups, but when he does get a hit, he has really good and a very easy and practical damage. If you master movement, he becomes really good. Like if you have great movement, because you can get some crazy good whiff punishes, but yeah, overall it's just not it's just a good character, but he's nothing spectacular just because of the lack of mix. So yeah, that's Liu Kang. He has the best fatality in the game, the black hole one. Just feels it's important to mention this. If I do a fatality tier list, unfortunately I already saw all of them in Maximilian Dude's video, but if I ever do it, this is number 1. I already give you spoilers. This is absolutely amazing for me, especially as one who's just a nerd. So yeah, that's number 11, Liu Kang. Let's move on to number 10.